I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, leading us in one verse of America, Bill Johnson. Get us going, Bill.
Treaties of the sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. When where my fathers died, land of thy pilgrims pride, from every mountainside, let freedom reign.
Next, the invocation, please, from Sue Grimaldi.
Dear gracious and loving God of all, thank you for allowing us to gather for this festive evening tonight. We thank you for the food this evening. Bless the ones who have prepared this food for us and allow us to use this nourishment to give us strength to help others less fortunate than ourselves. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And now for the Lion's Toast with water, Lion Jerry Sleddy.
Not above you. Not above you.
Not beneath
you.
But with you. With you. Big showers from now too.
And now for our thought for the day. The Lion's Toast rings kind of true. Not above you, not beneath you, but with you. And also I'd like to say, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Today's all about bullying, and nobody would ever want that to happen to them. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest of honor tonight. I have a big round of applause for Ed Zemba, please. His wife, Susanna. His 4 children, Joseph, Kyle, Juliana, and Robert. Thank you all. Also tonight, I'd like to introduce to everybody Christine Maywald and her husband, Werner Maywald. She nominated Ed for our award this evening. Also, every other guest that's here. Also, I'd like to thank Kevin Manley for coming this evening. And with that, I believe there's any other announcements? Lion Scott?
Brian Ash is on his way.
Brian Ash will be on his way shortly. So at this point, I think we should start with the dinner. Ed, would you like and your family like to start us off for dinner?
Absolutely. I think my kids can help us get started on that.
Yeah.
Robbie?
Tonight we're honoring Ed Zemba of Robert Charles Photography. I didn't know until last night, but he is a television star extraordinaire. Last night I saw him on the local news. I think he made it to CNN, MSNBC, and Fox. He's trying. The conversation we had at the table, I think he'll be on his way with the unifying against bullying. We Lions always ask for a one-page nomination for our district Distinguished Citizen of the Year. It's an annual award. Well, Christine Maywald did send us, thank you Christine, a one-page nomination for Ed. The size font to use was very, very tiny, so she could fit everything on that one page of Ed's accomplishment and also of his family. Christine is the executive director of Unity Against Bullying. It's a nonprofit that Ed and his family started several years ago. She shares with us that Unify has gained regional and international recognition for its program to assist and empower children in their everyday lives. And we've seen a great number of selfies about the anti-bullying campaign that Ed and his foundation company started. Also, Ed and the Robert Charles Company have for several years held an all-inclusive fashion show. Chris also states in her letter that Ed is a visionary. He is hoping to make a better world for all children, all-inclusive. The links to Ed's unselfish accomplishments that committee chairperson Susan Grimaldi sent me were quite impressive. She also sent me an email, very tiny, tiny fonts because there were multiple articles about Ed, Robert Charles, and all the accomplishments they've been doing. Ed and his company continue to hold an annual tradition of offering professional photo sessions in exchange for donations to Bay State Children's Hospital. Whether it's fundraisers for Unity Against Bullying or for cancer support, cancer funding at Mary Lane Hospital, or the massive support he has engineered for Bay State Children's Hospital. Again, I'm quoting Christine. Ed has thrown himself into each project with his all. And for this, we and everyone else are very thankful to you, Ed, and your company. All of us have been affected by a loved one being visited by cancer. So we all appreciate the fundraising that's been done. And also we've all heard, seen stories about bullying. We thank you for all your continued efforts on that. Ed has also led the East of the River Chamber of Commerce. Chris also shares with us that whether it's mentoring young business people or helping to grow the businesses in the 5 towns of that chamber, Ed is able to successfully lead and impassion those around him. Chris states that Ed is a wonderful husband and father who, while being a very, very busy person, has time to spend time with his children individually to help them become their best. She continues, Ed encourages children to be the best that they can be and to give back to the community. But I've heard about the Robert Charles Company and Ed and his family, his brother Robert, and the whole organization. It seems like the kids have a great role model to be following. Lion Susan did a nice interview with Ed, and I got a lot of information from that interview. Influences on Ed can be traced back to mom and dad. Dad instilled in his children that it's all about enjoying your family, meeting people, and maintaining your relationships. Mom's life example was her desire to make the world a better place for her family and community. She served many, many years with the SHARE program. It provides food supplies for families and individuals for exchange of community service, and also food and supplies for those in need. Brother and business partner Ed and Robert shares Ed's passions for helping all who they can, and been quite a force in their fundraising efforts. And Ed says that sister and business owner Christine is awesome in keeping the family together, family connected, arranging family gatherings with the holiday and birthday celebrations. There seems like a theme here, family and connections. I did have a chance, as we spoke at the table earlier, I had a chance to speak with your buddy Jay Marino. I caught him at work one night. He was working in Springfield. He works evenings at as a supervisor. And our conversation went on for about 20 minutes. And I said, Jay, do you have to go back to work? He said, no. I got one more story to tell you. Well, I just have a couple here. Jay, coming from a Catholic school environment, you're very used to a structured classroom, structured learning experience. When he arrived in East Long Meadow High School, he found a rambunctious, rowdy crowd. Mostly students, but some teachers too, he said. He once saw a student rap another kid on the head during class, and the teacher didn't do anything about it. Well, he couldn't believe that, but neither one of the students involved in that little fight was Ed. But what Jay did do was move his chair away from the disturbance near Ed's chair. And apparently this is the first recollection of Jay meeting Ed, and they've been great friends ever since. Great friends so much that they used to vacation up at Lake Champlain quite a bit, boating, fishing, with the uncles and the fathers and the mothers and the aunts. Well, apparently one afternoon they convinced the adults in the group that they're mature enough to each take these small motorboats across Lake Champlain to an island in the middle. Now, Lake Champlain is a big lake. They were trying to make it a great lake at one time. I've never been there, but I've heard it's a huge lake. So they took the two little boats out to try to get to these islands, and somehow a very bad storm came up, and these little boats do not have electronic navigating equipment on them. So they're trying to get back to, what is it, Paradise Island or somewhere?
Paradise Bay.
Paradise Bay. Luckily for them, there was a boatsman that came by with a larger boat, had some electronic navigational equipment, and got them back going in the right direction. Jay and Ed were kind of worried that the parents would be pacing back and forth in this storm, wondering where the two boys were. Well, they made it back, and everything was good. No beatings took place.
Not on the record, anyway.
Not on the record. But everything turned out very well. Ed advised Susan during the interview that when he was being groomed to step up and help run the business, his dad saw some of the literature that Ed had been working on for a presentation. He turned to his son and said, "You know, Ed, you've got about an 8th grade level of English here and could use some help." Luckily, there was a person in their office, Eileen, their bookkeeper, who was also very adept at English language. So it was Dad's instruction that nothing would leave the shop, leave the store, until Eileen stamped her approval on it. Ed also shares with us that Eileen's talents go far beyond office management and bookkeeping. She says, Ed says that she had a strong influence on how Susanna and he raised their children. Susanna and Ed have been married for 24 years. I've been told there's a cute story about that first meeting. Perhaps one of you will share that with us later. Ed did not go to the traditional high school to college route. He started with the School of Hard Knocks. I'm very familiar with that, so you're not alone. Ed did eventually attend Winnick. It took a number of years of juggling life, marriage, family, but he did graduate with a very proud 3.96 grade point average. That's
not added up.
really quite good.
Exactly.
What was that?
I said that's not added up, right?
That's He was doing very well. Now the guys over there, the kids, I'd like to share with you some assistance that your dad has given me over the years. I had heard that your dad ran the most professional studio ever. Well, in fact, I was going for some professional promotional photos for my own use, and I was a little unsure about how they'd really turn out. And Ed turned to me and said, "You know, we can make anybody look good, even you." But Ed, you've been a mentor, a friend, a champion of many, many people, probably many more than you ever realized. And we all thank you for your service to your community and your family. That's all I can say. We really appreciate that. Thank you. I did have one more thing for you. I was scouring the upscale flea markets in the area. And I found this camera. I was told it's a one-of-a-kind. It's a gold-plated, I think it's a Brownie. Fake gold-plated. But it's one of a kind. I haven't been able to find that yet. It's in my house somewhere. When I do, I'm going to come over to your studio and we'll get a photo opportunity of this.
Perfect.
But I was told it is a camera, a one-of-a-kind, the only one east of the Mississippi. It'll be interesting once I do find that to verify that fact. But we do have some presentations for that, a little less flashy than a camera, but very pertinent to this evening. I'd like Kevin Manley to come up if he could. He's got something for you. Yeah, they were here. I know they were here. I brought it, I swear.
Ed, congratulations. Quite an honor to be. We have a proclamation for you from the town of East Long Meadow. And, so this is the Ed Zemba Day proclamation. Whereas the Lions Club Distinguished Citizen Award is given in recognition of an outstanding community service and volunteerism in an effort to make East Long Meadow a better place to work and live. And whereas the Lions Club Distinguished Citizen shows commitment, support, respect, leadership, responsibility, positive attitude, cooperation, honesty, and self-discipline. And whereas the Lions Club Distinguished Citizen provides a positive image for the East Long Meadow community, promotes the general welfare of the community, and is active in many community events and organizations. And whereas the Lions Club Distinguished Citizen gives freely of his time and energy for community betterment. Now, therefore, I, Kevin Manley, President of the East Long Meadow Town Council, do hereby proclaim May 16, 2018 as Lions Club Distinguished Citizen Ed Zemba Day in the town of East Long Meadow, and urge all citizens to congratulate Mr. Zemba for the honor of receiving today, and he's receiving today, and encourage all citizens to become involved in our community. So, congratulations.
You get a picture, Kevin, in front of our banner. In front of our banner here.
State Representative Brian Ash, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Oh, that was very lively. I'm thrilled to be here at the East Long Meadow Lions Club. I've had the pleasure over the years to be able to attend quite a few of these dinners. Tonight we're actually in formal session, and I didn't think I'd make it, but we get out right around 4 o'clock, and I called my aide and I said, let them know I want to make it there, because I really do believe in the mission that the Lions Club does. I mean, the Lions Club's been around for over 100 years, and the spirit and the mission that they have is something we should all strive to do, to be able to work together, to be able to have common goals, and to do good in our society. But for me, it's even more special because the gentleman it's Ed, right? Ed, actually, I'm very good friends with Ed and Susie, and I was absolutely thrilled to be when I heard Ed was getting this award, and I'm so happy that we got out on time so I could come here, say a few words, and to show my congratulations. I have, like I said, the pleasure of being friends with Ed, and I also have the pleasure of being involved with the Unify Against Bullying, and I was there last night, and if for nothing else, I mean, Ed's a remarkable person, like all the things you said, Scott, you hit the nail on the head with him, but even if you took away all that, just the work that he does with Unify Against Bullying just shows the character and the type of person he is. And for me, he sold me right away on that. I mean, I liked him anyway, and we were friends, but the Unify Against Bullying, he doesn't do it for the photographs. He doesn't do it to get on, the media or the attention. And he doesn't do it that it will spread his career further in the future. He does it because he believes in it. It's the right thing to do. He saw a need out there, and he stepped up. And then when you see the amount of people, I mean, we have people here, Werner, Chris, the people that are involved in that, it really is remarkable. And you can tell how remarkable it is, because when something's that good, it organically grows. And not that they haven't done work to make it grow, but it really has blossomed into something absolutely incredible. And we were there last night. I was telling different stories. Everybody's got a story about how they were either bullied or how they, maybe not even intentionally were part of bullying. Just trying to be inclusive in a group, and you didn't want to be the victim, so you helped share it. And the work they're doing there, it really is powerful and it's very moving. So I'm just so thrilled to be here tonight for Ed, for the Lions Club, and to share with Ed. I have a citation, and my friend Angelo Puplo unfortunately couldn't make it, but I have citations from both of us for the House of Representatives. And I'll read mine because, well, mine's better than Angelo's. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, be it hereby known to all that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts offers its sincerest congratulations to Ed. I didn't know your middle initial was G.
It's G.
Gary?
No, good guess. George.
George, that's pretty good. Edward George Zemba, in recognition of being named the 2018 Distinguished Citizen of the Year by the East Long Meadow Lions Club. The entire membership extends its very best wishes in the hope for future good fortune, continued success in all your endeavors, and it's signed by the Speaker of the House, by me, your friend, State Representative Brian Ashton. My sincerest, deepest, I am so happy for you and so proud of you, and I can't think of a more well-deserved award. Congratulations.
If you'd like to say a few words.
Speech. First thing that comes to mind is this is so much easier being on the other side. Okay, and you guys, everybody in this room knows what I mean by that. Okay, because I know everybody in this room. If you're here, you put your community first. Period. Okay, and that when, for instance, Chris and Werner recently were being recognized for something amazing. I remember talking to Chris, and I've had to echo those words in my head about she was, saying, "Oh, I don't deserve this," and of course I immediately was like, "Oh my, are you kidding me? Of course you deserve. It's awesome to have you up there, and it helps inspire other people and all these different things. And all this comes to mind so easily, But then when it's your turn, oh man, it's just so different. Because I don't feel worthy. I don't feel that I deserve it. I don't mean that in any bad way. I'm just saying that's the voice in my head. But I have to say that listening to friends, family, and folks that I have I hold in such high regard, saying such wonderful things. The way I see it, or the way I hear it in my head, my heart, is that all the folks that I happen to be around that have helped make Unify possible, they're standing here with me right now, okay, tonight. Includes my dad, my mom, my incredible wife, Susie, all of our kids. I would say all of our kids, as you guys heard, 4 kids, okay? They are all 4 awesome, amazing, spectacular children who inspire Susie and I every day to try to be better. And all the different people that are part of Unify. So I guess the biggest thing I want to say is, first, I got to say this, my dad would love this, okay? I mean, first of all, what it represents, and then second of all, this clock is awesome. I just love it. And, time is one of the few things in life that is in fact finite, that there's really nothing more valuable than time. Think about it. And my dad was and is a tremendous inspiration for myself, and I think it's okay if I say for my kids and for my wife. He and my mom taught us to always put community first. Always look for how can you help your fellow man, your fellow woman, and how can we make it a better place. And when my father was unfortunately passing away, because we did lose him just a couple years ago. He, of course, in our minds and our hearts, had just done so much, in his life. But when we were dealing with those last weeks of his life here with all of us physically, I had the privilege of sharing a video that we had created through Unify Against Bullying. And I will come back in a minute and give you guys a little bit of the background on Unify, but what I want you guys to understand is that, what you do here in the Lions Club matters. I mean, the differences that you make in people's lives, it matters, okay? Because my father was sitting there, and he's thinking back on his life, and he knows his time here is limited. And when we sat down and shared with him a video of some of the things that Unify had done and his selfie challenge that had spread all over the world, And we had kids in Russia, and we had kids in Rwanda, other countries I can't even pronounce, okay? By the way, I did get a geography lesson with that project, which, as you heard earlier, is something I can use. But anyway, but as I was sharing the video with my father during this really tough time, and he couldn't speak a lot at that point because he had brain cancer, unfortunately, but he looked at me and he managed to get out, I made a difference. And I think that I feel like in life, if all of us can walk out of here thinking we made a difference, that we really made a difference while we're here, I mean, what greater accomplishment can we have? And that's what I see tonight. It's all folks that have decided that, you know, you're going to put some of your own personal interests aside so you can make a difference. And I saw on the form here, look on the back, it says, we serve. 2 simple words. We serve. We, and we're all doing it together, and serve, putting others before ourselves. And I just think that is such a powerful statement. You know, last night I talked about 2 words that were very important to us when my wife and I were putting together the fashion show, because we, as a husband and wife, did it together. And those 2 words were, you know, you're right. Okay, I'm wrong. But kidding aside, seriously, my wife, Susie, who's been quietly sitting here and supporting me tonight, which means the world to me, my true north. Susie, my wife, is everything to me. I can't even tell you guys how incredibly important she is to me. And how Unifying Against Bullying would not exist if it wasn't for her, and for her heart, and for how much she gives and puts out, like, her heart for other people. And this is for both of us, honey, okay? Yeah. So real quick, Unify Against Bullying, I have to do a little pitch about Unify, okay? So you guys can know a little bit about it in case you guys decide you want to maybe help support Unify a little bit. So first off, Unify wouldn't exist today if it wasn't for Bay State Children's Hospital. And Bay State Children's Hospital is the first charity that our family business, and I say family because we all came together, tried to really make a difference with. In our first year, we raised between about $500 to $1,000, which we were very proud of. Over time, though, that started to add up. And within about a 10-year period, thanks to my father, we raised over $100,000 for Bay State Children's Hospital, which to this day still blows my mind. And I say that largely because, you know, a lot of us sell ourselves short. You know, we think, well, you know, I can only do this or I can only do that. It doesn't really matter. You know, it matters. I don't give you raise $10, okay? It matters. And that taught us that even our small family could make a difference, you know? So when we started down the road with Unify, what happened was we had to raise a little bit of money to raise some awareness and some funds to try to deal with anti-bullying issues in Western Massachusetts. That was our goal. And we raised $5,000. Now, part of that was because we had dealt with some challenges in our own family with regards to seeing some bullying issues that were going on. And we wanted to try to make a difference for the region because we felt that if our family was struggling with some of this stuff, that we weren't the only ones. So we raised $5,000, and then we looked for a charity within Western Mass that represented all the schools of Western Mass and all the different families dealing with this issue, and we couldn't find one. Now, I have to imagine everybody in this room has got to feel the same way we did, which is, how is that possible, right? We had 2 children with nationally recognized suicides over bullying. Carl Walker Hoover was 11-year-old, little boy, Springfield, Massachusetts. And then we all know Phoebe Prince, okay, in the suburbs, you know, South Hadley. So 2 communities that dealt with this tragedy and actually got national attention over it And yet there was no cohesive effort in happening in all of Western Mass. There were small efforts happening in different towns and communities, but they were sort of separated from each other. And we didn't want to pick a favorite. We didn't want to be like, oh, we're only going to help this town or this area, that kind of thing. So we really wanted it to be more for the whole area. So we reached out to a national charity and we said, hey, listen, we've got this tremendous need out here in Western Mass. We want to start a chapter. And we have $5,000 we want to give you to start a chapter. And we have a whole bunch of parents, and we have a bunch of kids, and we're ready to make a difference, okay? And what they said to us was, you live in a non-serviceable area. Right? Okay?
No cable for you.
Yeah, right, no cable for you, okay? So they don't evidently believe in we serve, right? I mean, or I guess it is that we serve some. I don't know, right?
Our neighborhood.
Yeah, okay. So, and it was hard for me to get my head around that because, you know, again, what we had dealt with nationally, they clearly knew about it. This was an anti-bullying effort, so they must have obviously known about it. So we didn't give up. We kept pushing. We kept trying to climb the ladder. We were ready to call the CEO to pitch, you know, please take our $5,000. Please come out here. And we were in the process of doing that. And before I made that call, I called Susie, my wife, and the woman that has led me and inspired me since the day we met. And I said, honey, this just doesn't feel right. I said, we're begging these people to take our money. We're trying to get their attention. They don't obviously care enough to want to be here, or they're just busy servicing other areas. What if we just do this ourselves? And we both said we have no time. We have no way of doing this. We have no background, no experience. But what we do have is Western Massachusetts. And we both believe in this community. I mean, wholeheartedly. And we had seen what this community was capable of with Bay State Children's Hospital. And having raised all that money for Bay State because of all the families and businesses and folks that stepped up for us. And we said, well, what if we jump, they'll catch us. We just got to have the courage to jump. And that night we said, yep, we're going to jump. So first phone call went out to some friends saying, if we do this, would you guys do it with us? And I got to tell you, this is one of the coolest parts of the story. 100% of the people we called said yes. How many times can you say that about almost anything? 100%. But literally, 100% of our friends, family, businesses, everybody said, if you guys do this, we're in. Whatever you need, we're in. So we launched it, and it turned into something that was, of course, a great gift to us and to our family, having had the opportunity to meet all these incredible individuals. Unify Against Bullying does, just to let everybody know, is we raise money with the intent of creating a fund that can then give out micro grants to the children, families, the teachers, the administrators, all those that are on the front lines of bullying that are actually dealing with this on a day-to-day basis. Our goal is to get the money into their hands. Because our thought is that those kids and those teachers know how to deal with this better than any of us. So that's our number one focus. And then in addition to that, we offer programming where we take high school kids and we bring them into the grade school to have them talk to the other kids. Now, can any of the parents in here guess why we decided that it would be a good idea to get high school kids talking to grade school kids instead of parents talking to grade school kids?
They'll listen to the kids.
What's that?
They'll listen to the kids.
They'll listen to the kids, right? We're all old enough to remember Charlie Brown.
You shut off your parents.
Yeah, and right? Wah, 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 wah. That's what we sound like when we're talking to our kids, okay? And hopefully not all the time, guys, okay? But a lot, okay? And we get that, okay? And so what our thought is that the high school kids, they have street cred, okay? So if they talk to a grade school kid and say bullying is not cool, it gets a completely different level of response. So what we try to do with Unify is create that stage, both figuratively and literally, where we get those high school kids up there and give them the opportunity to convey that message to the grade school kids. And our long-term goal, which we would love to have the Lions Club help in any way the Lions Club would want to help, even just spreading the word, is ultimately we love the idea of creating unified clubs within all the schools. We're going to start right here in East Long Meadow. Again, I'm literally making this up as I go. This didn't occur to me this right this second. But, right? I mean,
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, wait a minute. I didn't just make up the club. That we were. This part I just made up, which is, wouldn't it be cool if, working with a club like the Lions Club, if we were to collaborate with East Long Meadow and make that the first club?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be a really cool thing. So I would love to do that. And the concept of the club, which one of our just amazing supporters of Unify is Evan Plotkin from downtown Springfield. He helps, for anybody that drives on 91 and sees the big old Mass Live building, he helps run and manages that entire building. And I can't go into detail on the numbers because he's asked us to be respectful of that, but let's just say he's been very kind to Unify Against Bullying and offering us some space in that building in a way that we can afford. So Evan was the one that recently talked about the fact that he sees Unify as that beacon of light for the kids that are in trouble. And that if you think of it, it's a lot like a stormy seas. You know, we were all there. Tell them sometimes you're in high school, it gets stormy. I don't care what group you're in. It can get stormy, it can get tough. And Unify gives that opportunity to have a safe harbor. So wouldn't it be amazing if we could have a safe harbor in all the schools where there was a safe space for these kids to go that are in trouble? So I think that East Long Meadow is a great place to start, and then I'd love to see that spread throughout all of Western Mass, and then maybe we could teach our friends out in the eastern part of the state a thing or two about how we can raise it for all of us. So, all right, so on that note, I just wanted to plant that seed on Unify, give you a little bit of background, and I'll end with this because I was asked that if I would share the story of how Susie and I met, okay? So I'll end with this, because all of this is because of this young lady sitting right over here, okay? So Susie and I met at a bridal show. So we met at a bridal show. I like to say when she was there with her fiance, but you know, that wasn't the case. But it's not that far off because she had a boyfriend. Okay, and this is a lesson to my kids about never, letting adversity slow you down. So, or a challenge. So I knew that she had a boyfriend, but it was a major snowstorm, and the boyfriend didn't show up to pick her up at the show. So you got it. Opportunity. Opportunity strikes. So I find out the boyfriend said, what was it he said again, honey? I can't remember. What was it?
He was watching a football game or something.
Yeah, no. What did he say that you needed to do?
Take the bus home.
Ooh, boo. Hear that? She could take the bus home. Now, in fairness, I didn't know exactly what that meant yet. We were in Hartford, Connecticut, and we were at the bridal show, and he said to take the bus home. So, of course, I said, a pretty little thing like you couldn't take the bus home. You shouldn't have to take a bus. So she thought that was really sweet, but then she said, but seriously, you don't have to drive me home. I said, no, I'd love to drive you home. And she said, well, you sure? I said, yes. She goes, well, I'm in school at Simmons College in Boston, Massachusetts. Okay? And again, this is a major snowstorm, okay? So I was like, oh, okay. That's that part. But all right. I said, well, my word's my word. I said, I'd give you a ride home. I'll absolutely give you a ride home. And she was like, no. I said, no, I promise. I said, really? I said, yeah. I said, well, give us a chance to get to know each other. She's like, okay. So she calls her mom, who was about 10 minutes away at the time. And all I hear on this end of the phone is, no, honey, yeah. Or, no, mom, yeah. No, I just met him. But, yeah, he's going to drive me home. Yeah, I know it's snow. I got to 2.5 hours, 3-4 hours, whatever. It doesn't matter. But he's going to drive me home. Really? Now? Okay, hangs up the phone. We got to go meet mom.
First things first.
Yep. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So, right? So I get in the car, we head over to go meet Mom. So I walk in, now my wife's maiden name is Tarantello. So a little bit Italian, okay? Just a little bit. So, Joe, can you describe Noni to this group?
Well, the Noni I know is this nice, sweet old woman
Yeah.
who makes, used to make amazing pizza and, would always.
How do you think Noni handled that conversation?
Oh, no, knowing was the Noni back then, that I wouldn't want to be him in that.
So I get to go in, and Noni and her best friend, girlfriend Connie were playing cards. And they actually were just playing cards. They didn't even get up off the table. They just sort of looked at me. And then they went right back to playing cards. And then while playing cards, Noni's just sitting there holding her hand. And she goes, so how do we know that you're not going to take our Susie away and we're never going to see her again? Like out of nowhere. And I'm just standing there with a very thick Italian accent. And I'm just standing there. I'm like, okay. I said, well, actually, I'm just going to take her to Boston. I promised to drop her off, everything else. I said, I'd be happy to give you my parents' names, my license, social security number, whatever you need, right? And she's holding the cards and she goes, okay. And she kind of puts the cards like this. And I'm just like, okay. And she's like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, really? You want me to? Yeah. She goes, oh yeah, all right. So I like to know, I have on the kitchen table my license, social security card, everything else. I swear to God, she's writing it all down. She's getting my dad's name, my mom's name, everything. She puts it all down on a piece of paper. And I'm just like, so Susie comes walking around the corner and sees this, okay, and absolutely loses her mind. She's like, Mom, what are you doing? And she completely freaks out. Now, in fairness, I said, hey, you know what? I said, I respect your mom. I said, I think this is amazing. And I said, someday, if it's ever my turn, I'm going to do the same thing. Which, by the way, was a really smart thing for me to say because now I have license to do that to every boyfriend my daughter has, okay? So, I'm very happy to say that eventually, it took a year or two, but I won Giovanna over. And she was an incredible inspiration for both of us. One of the most impressive women you have ever met in your life, came to this country not speaking the language with 2 daughters, lost her husband very early on, learned the language, got her GED, and put both girls through private college. An amazing story and a tremendous inspiration to all of us. So, as you heard, family has been an inspiration since the beginning, and our goal is to take the magic of the family that you guys have heard about and extend it to some of these kids out there that maybe aren't as blessed to have that kind of family through the Family of Unifying Against Bullying. And you guys have all helped make that possible tonight by doing what you guys are doing, and I just can't say thank you enough. Thank you. Did Susie say something? Come on. Absolutely. Come on, Susie, come up here for a second. Come on, please.
I can't.
Please.
He is very deserving of everything. When I met him that night, I knew I was going to marry him. I knew that. And he is not just an amazing man, he's an amazing father, husband, he's my best friend. And I'm the luckiest woman to have him with everything we do. Because we do it together and we do it with passion and we have amazing kids. So I'm very blessed. And thank you very much for honoring him because he deserves it. Sorry, I'm a mess.
Thank you, Brian.
Good job.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you guys for everything. Appreciate it.
Now, Ed,
Yes.
the Lions do have several Leo clubs in Western Mass. 12 to 18-year-olds who are Lions.
Okay.
East Long Meadow doesn't have one.
Ah. Okay.
We need one.
this might be a
Okay.
really good
Maybe
partnership
there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
in Western Mass.
I-
There's about
I've been
40
wanting to do that.
There's about 40 Lions clubs in Western Mass.
To the high school.
Be a really good partnership.
I think that would be something that would unify.
Let's talk about that. That's fantastic. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody, one last thing, I'd like to lead us all in the Lions roar. Everybody up, everybody up. Everybody ready? Roar Lions! Roar Lions! Roar Lions! Fight, 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 fight! Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
So like I said, I think I can meet you.
Thanks for having me.
No shit. What did they confirm your
Yeah, please do, Brian. Great.
And I think it was like